Hi everyone, it's Trainer Amy Jo here, and today we are doing a seminar, a live discussion on how to go out to eat when you have fit goals. And I've gotten a lot of questions about what I do, about what a lot of other, people who have fit goals, what do they do when they want to go out to eat? What do you order? How do you order it? Can you still do it and not feel like you have to bring Tupperware with you, measuring out your food before you go to the restaurant? So there's a lot of ways that we can make better decisions and still enjoy a meal with our family, or a date night, or you forgot your lunch and you have to run out and grab something. So there's a few ways that I wanted to share with you guys how you can do that. And number one, it doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. Okay, so keeping that in mind when you are going to go out to eat, you don't have to say, I can't go out at all. I mean, the point is that you still want this plan and this eating plan to be sustainable for you. And that's our number one goal, right? With our fitness, with our nutrition, we're trying to reach a goal, but not just get there. You want to be able to stay there. And eating out of Tupperware is not really sustainable. So figuring out, what's customized for you, and figuring out what your family enjoys, what you enjoy. There's definitely ways to eat out, and, ordering drinks out where you can still stick with your goals. So number one, I wanted to kind of mention that restaurants, get in the mindset that restaurants really, they don't care. They know the key to your heart is through your stomach. So restaurants want food to taste good. They want it to be full of flavor. They don't care about calories, most of them, unless they're marketing to you as being a healthier restaurant where they're already tracking calories for you and putting that out there. And more and more, I've actually seen more restaurants that do that. Take the Cheesecake Factory, for example. I mean, they're labeling everything on their menu of their how much calories are in each item, which I think is really cool because it helps us to be more aware. And when we're more aware, that's when we're going to make better choices, right? I mean, knowing you're going out to eat and you have goals that you're trying to achieve within your fitness lifestyle, you're already aware that when you go out to dinner tonight, you need to make the best choice possible. It's when we just don't blatantly care is when we, go off the rails and not consider, I just want to eat whatever I want and not care, right? And that's for another discussion, because obviously there's those moments too where we just want to be off the rails and not really care. And that's important, I think, to recognize. But we are talking about tips on how to order today, and where to go, how to order, what are the things that we can think about to still stay in line with our goals. So I mapped out about 18 different things, 18 different fit tips for you guys today that we'll go over. And then at the end, I wanted to kind of go over a few of my favorite places, what I do to stay on track, and what my family and I will order when we go out. So number one, I think it's really important that first you have to pick the right restaurant. So first, if you're going to go out, if you have plans, think about where am I going and what are my goals with that. So I need to pick the right restaurant first. I mean, if you're going to go to an Italian restaurant, that is full of carbs and fat and not a lot of protein, right? It's harder to stay within low calorie options when you're going out to certain particular restaurants. So first, pick the right restaurant. That's most important. So planning ahead, being aware, and saying, where am I going to go, can help you before you even get there. So you need a plan of attack before you even get to that restaurant. One of the great things about it is when you do pick that, you can also check out the menu. Okay, so number one, I have 18. we'll go through quick. Check the menu online. Before you get there, look at the menu and already decide what you're going to get. I think that's kind of just the best way to do this is I'm going to go out, I'm going to look at the menu and I already have an idea of what I want to choose. So that's the most important thing is already kind of have an idea of what you're going to pick. Most popular restaurants have the menu online, and you can kind of have an idea. Number 2, go to a restaurant with a low calorie menu. You have the choice to pick, way more beneficial options if you know that there's a low calorie menu at the particular restaurant. So thinking about places, have your go-tos, right? We all live in our certain cities and you kind of know what's around you. So if you kind of think these are my favorite go-tos and you already have that defined as what you order when you go there, then you're going to be, a little more encouraged to make those good choices. Number 3, if you can, opt for a higher scale restaurant. I think that the faster foods, the quicker in and outs, those are ones that aren't going to necessarily have the most lowest calorie options. So choosing upscale, I've noticed upscale, actually they have smaller portions, which, you're paying for, but that's for another conversation. But they're usually going to have options that are, grilled, higher end, and lower calorie. Plus, they're not huge portions. Number 4, I always will order a side salad first. Getting vegetables in right away is kind of like a big thing for when maybe you've saved calories for this meal. And I know I've talked about like calorie banking. And just a side note, that calorie banking is when you basically save calories throughout the day. Not that you're not eating, but you're storing up some calories so you have extra calories at dinner to kind of work with. So like for me, I'll kind of just do protein and vegetables, maybe like a protein shake for dinner, and then salad and tuna or salad and chicken, and then maybe some turkey or another protein shake in the afternoon. And then you have more carbs and fat to work with at night. So that's kind of a cool strategy on a day that you're going to go out to dinner. So I order a salad first when I get there because I'm hungry. And I've waited for the meal, and then kind of getting some vegetables in you first kind of balances out your blood sugar levels and doesn't make you as like ravenous. Number 5, I'll get soups. So like looking at broth-based soups is a good option at a lot of restaurants if they offer that. That's kind of a good one because it is voluminous, and soups with volume, when they're not cream-based, is a great option to get when you're out. So number 5 is order a broth soup. That is more volume because there's water in it, so it's hydrating you, it's filling up your stomach, and it's not gonna break the bank there. Plus, it takes time to eat, so our minds track how long is this meal taking me to eat? And so soups are great for that too. Takes you a while to eat. Number 6, I will just brush on this because I know that this is like a whole nother topic, but going over gluten-free items, I think that, and you have to be aware of the gluten-free options, okay? Just like be aware of them. Understand that if gluten is being removed from an option, they still have to make it flavorful. Just because they call it gluten-free, sometimes they're higher in calories because they want it to taste better. So they're, finding other ways, putting more fat in it or adding a different kind of carb to put in there to give it some more flavor. So just beware when something's labeled gluten-free, that might not always be the lowest calorie, right? It just doesn't have gluten in it. Okay, number 7, appetizers. I think we might forget a lot about appetizers as being cheaper, and they might have some more options that are lower calorie because they're smaller portions. So for instance, like shrimp cocktail, right? It's like one of the best items, probably the lowest calorie, tastes good, lemon, and a little bit of the cocktail sauce on the side. high protein, and you get it right away. So you're not waiting for your meal. Once again, so even if you don't do like the side salad at the beginning, order the shrimp cocktail for an appetizer, that kind of something you can dig into right away and balances the blood sugars out, and then also gives you some time to then enjoy your meal as well. Also, thinking about the appetizer portion is like if you're at Mexican or where's the other place that brings you bread? The Cheesecake Factory. Already mentioned that one. Those are like the worst, right? So those restaurants, you're already hungry, and then you show up, and then they just put chips and salsa right in front of you, and I mean, you could easily like down 1,000 calories in a matter of like 10 minutes, and that's even before you've ordered your food. So most often, it's better to just like ask them to take that away, or order something right away. Order an appetizer that has protein or vegetables. Ask for triple the veggies. So number 8 is ask for extra vegetables on the side of your entree. And once again, the extra veggies is taking you time to eat, because our brain registers, how long is this taking me to eat? You have 3 bites of something and you're like, you still want something else, even if it was high calorie. So having a larger plate of veggies with your entree is always a great option. Okay, number 9, know the difference in your cuts of meats. I think this is a really important one, because not all cuts of meats are the same, right? Like beefs, there's so many different types of steaks. There's so many different cuts of chicken breast, even or chicken. Know your cuts and what's going to be higher calories. So for example, a skinless chicken breast is a better option than the more fatty chicken thigh or chicken leg. As for beef, look for names like top sirloin, tip side steak, bottom round, and stay away from more the slabs like prime rib. So those are going to be more laden with fat. Unless, of course, that's your goal, is to enjoy a prime rib. So, but for the sake of this conversation right now, we are erring on the side of top sirloin, tip side steak, and bottom round, okay? Number 10, request butter and sauces on the side. This is a huge one. So if you're getting a side salad, easy just to say, salad dressing on the side. Easy just to ask. If you are getting a steak, a lot of the times they'll put butter on top of the steak and let it melt right before they bring it out to you. So asking for the steak dry or asking them to put the butter on the side is always a great option, and then you don't have to use it. So it's important to remind yourself how I order, and what could be coming on extra on this meal that I could do without. Okay. Number 11, let's talk about drinks really quick. So the empty calorie drinks are huge, right? I mean, like a margarita, all those blended drinks. Yes, we could stick with water, and we know that, but it's kind of the idea that like carbs are like so easy to get. They're so easy to get, and they can become so high calorie dense, especially when you're drinking them. And so go into a restaurant already with a plan. I'm going to have, one drink, and the lowest calorie one, by the way, are the clear alcohol. So your vodka, your tequila, the clear alcohols are the lowest calorie, right around 70 to 90 calories a shot. When you get into your wines or your beers, you're right around 150 calories. So if you can mix that with something that's really low calorie, then you're already golden. You can still enjoy a drink, but keep the calories under 100 on that. And I'll tell my clients too, I'm like, well, if your meal plan had a carb with dinner, associated with dinner, so if I'm saying have steak, a half cup of rice, and a vegetable, you remove your rice, remove the carb for the night, and then just use it and cash it in as your alcohol drink, your beverage. So if that's your choice, that's what you want to do. You're kind of like, hey, I'm just trading my carb calories for my drink, and then you can still enjoy your meal with your veggies. And that's not to say that you have to eat the whole meal. I think sometimes when you're a plate, we're taught like from being little, finish your food, clear your plate, and I think it's okay to not finish a meal. It's okay to push something off to the side or scrape the sour cream off the baked potato and realize I don't have to consume that. I don't have to eat this whole plate. It's weird. It's kind of like you've been told something your whole life, like finish your food, finish all your plate, you're going to waste food. But when, you're going to, break the bank with your calories, it's okay not to. Moving on, number 12, look for key healthy terms. When you're looking at a menu, look for grilled, look for boiled, look for baked. All of these things have a low calorie connotation with it. They're all words that indicate that the food was cooked in the healthiest way possible. So those are kind of terms to really pay attention to. There's always, a chance the restaurant could use butter or sauces in the prep process. But to request, you can request that they leave it off as well, right? Like we talked about before. It's also knowing how I order things. And so that's a great one. I'm not sure how many of you like seafood or fish. This is number 13, but it seems like seafood and fish is just such a great option at restaurants because of how it's prepped. As long as it's not fried, those are obviously, fried, anything is instantly add 1,000 calories to that. But seafood is usually a really safe bet when you're going out to eat high protein, and, most places are grilling it, and you can make sure that you order something grilled too. But those are great options when you go out. And I would say more often than not too, just conversations that I've had with people aren't always cooking fish and seafood at home. So it's kind of something that's you're not always getting it. It's rare, and, order something that you're not going to usually make at home is kind of a nice option. So looking for seafood and fish is a really good one. All right, well, moving on here. Use the fork dip method. Number 14. I know we've all heard of that one, but, dipping the fork. Right, we talked about ordering a sauce or a dressing on the side and then just kind of dipping you can actually add still a lot of flavor to each bite, but not feel like it's like covered in it. And when you have half of your side left over and your meal's gone and you're like, oh, that was actually good, it's kind of fun to be like, oh my gosh, that's how many calories I saved by not doing that. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I kind of get all competitive about it. And I'm like, yes, I didn't use the whole side sauce. So use the fork dip method. That's kind of a good one. And I realize that, food can still taste good with just doing that. Number 15, eat. This is a big one. I do this all the time. And when I thought about this tip, I was like, wow, I actually really do that with subconsciously. But I eat the lowest calorie portion first, or I'm eating my protein first. So when you get your meal, right? Let's say you did get a baked potato and your seafood or steak and some vegetable. I'll go right to the protein first. And that also helps with balancing blood sugar levels, because most of the time when we do go to restaurants, we're hungry. You're hungry. And going to that protein as the first thing that you put in your mouth is a great way to balance your blood sugars out. And then also you finish your meal with the most enjoyable part, which is usually the carbs. So that's a good one. Eat the lowest calorie portion first, or eat your protein first. Okay, moving on. Number 16, skip the skin. It's normal for restaurants to cook turkey, chicken, and even duck, and to leave the chicken on during the cooking process. But you should take it off before eating it. I think that saves a ton of calories. Cooking it with the skin on definitely adds flavor and makes it taste better. But the skin is loaded with a bunch of calories and saturated fat that you don't really have room for when you have fit goals. So just take the skin off and throw it off to the side, right? You don't have to eat it. Number 17, oh my word, I already mentioned this, but say no to the bread basket or the chips and salsa. I can't believe it. I can't believe how many calories are wasted with that darn chips and salsa. But it is, you can definitely go to town on that. So I just would say, save those calories for your meal by sending them back. Send it back. And you can order an appetizer right away to have something else, or even just get water with lemon while you're waiting for your meal. Okay, and talking about water, this is one of my last tips was drink water throughout the meal. I think it's really important that you're hydrating while you're eating your meal, which can also slow down your meal, and keep getting fluids in you. So many times, right, we think we're hungry when we're actually just thirsty. So alternating bites with big gulps of water is really smart to do. It'll force you to slow down as you eat, and you'll be able to better judge your level of hunger to keep you from overeating. So like I said in the beginning, most restaurants, they don't really think about your fit goals, right? I mean, they know that the key to your heart is through your stomach. And these just are reminders that you don't have to be perfect. You just need to do some damage control and be aware before you're going out. So, I mean, there's so many options with restaurants, but plan ahead and pick out some of your favorite ones. Okay, so I'm going to move into some of my personal favorites and what I order when I go out. So these are kind of things that my go-tos, and I've kind of calculated a lot of them, so I know right around where the calories and the macros are on most of these items. So number one, we'll go to a teriyaki place, and I will always get chicken breast teriyaki. I will ask for the sauce on the side. It comes with white rice and nothing on it. And then I will get the steamed vegetables. So that's kind of one that is like a staple in our house. My husband and I will eat that one on really any night. And it's easy to save for, future days as well for food prep. So that's a really easy one to get. But a lot of the teriyaki places now are offering are doing the chicken breast. So just make sure you say chicken breast, otherwise you'll get rib meat. And they'll pour sauce all over it. So you have to say sauce on the side. Another one is Mexican. I will always get fajitas. I just enjoy like having the options. Like you can put together a taco. You can just make it like a fajita salad if you want. I never really use the cheese because I'm such a guacamole girl. Like I like avocado. And so I'm just kind of like, well, I'm getting a lot of the fat in the avocado. Plus with the stir fried peppers and all that, they're adding oil in that. So there's fat in there. Plus there's fat in your avocado. I just kind of am like, I just won't do any cheese or sour cream, just so I can pick and choose. And it's still enjoyable. I always get corn tortillas, the smaller ones, versus the flour. They're less calories, and you still get to enjoy, making a taco with that. So that's what I'll do at Mexican restaurants. We like pho too. Going to like the pho soup places, those are really good. Some of them, we've gone to one before that had like this much oil on top. That was crazy. You could like see it. It was just like they just dumped canola oil or something on the top layer of it. So we did find one though that you can tell they are way more like clear broth based, and I'll get either a chicken breast one or I'll do the steak. And that's great because it's like it comes with vegetables and the rice noodles, and then the broth really is filling actually. So that we'll get that to go a lot, and my kids like that one too. So that's a great option. Panera is another option we'll use for lunch. We won't do a ton of it, just because it's more, salad based, and I enjoy it. But like my kids, making options for them is always kind of, you're going out as a family, so you kind of have to think about everybody. But I will do the Greek or the green goddess salad at Panera. That one's really good. It's got the chicken, boiled egg, avocado, and I'll do the salad dressing on the side with that one. And I will do the dip the fork method with that. That works really well with that salad at Panera. So that one's excellent. Cheesecake Factory. I know we went over that one, but this is what I will get. When we've gone to the Cheesecake Factory, I've gotten the Thai lettuce wraps, and that one's really good. So it has like grilled chicken. It's got like shredded carrots, shredded cabbage. What else is on the side of it? I think it comes with cucumbers, which are really good. And you can make like these lettuce wraps, and they're actually pretty low calorie when I've looked at them. I mean, by far the lowest calorie thing on that menu. But those are a great option going to the Cheesecake Factory. Plus, it's a home run with the family, right? So you can kind of order that. But see, these places, this is what I get every single time at these places. That's kind of what I wanted to mainly really get across with this discussion, is that have your go-to items, and that's what you get when you go there, right? It's like, that's my go-to item. I already have that calculated. I already know what I'm going to get. And it's much easier. It's so much easier. Okay, let's talk about a few that are like, not totally, these are like off the radar a little bit. Like Papa Murphy's, right? I mean, we all like pizza. Who doesn't? But one option to just keep it lower calorie is to do the Delight. There's a Delight option at Papa Murphy's, which is basically, it's just thin crust. And that's kind of cool. I mean, I don't know a lot of places that are offering that. I don't really know of any of them that kind of like basically say this is half the carbs, and it's really, really thin crust. But you can still do Canadian bacon, vegetables on there, or do like, chicken and mushrooms and olives. And you're still getting, the pizza flavor, the pizza taste, but it's a lot less calories just because they cut the crust in half. So that's kind of a nice option. We will do that a lot, and I'll kind of put that, mesh that into my macros, because I like calculating my macros every day. So Papa Murphy's is a great one for that, fitting in the Delight option. Don't forget, you have to say Delight though. Okay, let's talk about dessert, right? Let's talk about, I don't personally really like ever do dessert if we're going out. I kind of have already planned, for when I'm gonna, maybe have something sweet for the week. And usually it's like on a Saturday night. So we'll do, like frozen yogurt, right? So that's one that you're in more control of like how many, what options you're picking. So if you go to like a frozen yogurt shop, right? I mean, you can easily pick something that's a low fat or a fat-free option, adding fruit to it, and it's like a great dessert. Tastes good. It still gets the sweet craving, but you don't really have to do a ton of, high calorie Cold Stone ice cream where most of it is really high calorie, unless you're getting a smaller portion, right? But that's what's hard about this, is that a lot of the times, I mean, getting smaller portions is difficult to do when you're going to a higher calorie place, right? But what I'll do at the frozen yogurt shop is I'm a sprinkle girl, and the last time I checked, sprinkles really aren't that high calorie. So I like to get like a peanut butter frozen yogurt, or kind of like a caramel. Like that's kind of what I'm into. My husband will do like he loves that the fruit kinds, and then adds fruit to it. And then I'll do the sprinkles though, and they're not that high calorie. You're still kind of getting like a texture in it, so that's really good too. So the sprinkles are a great one. Can't go wrong with sprinkles. Okay, let me see some questions on here. Thoughts on cauliflower crust? Cauliflower crust. Well, the one thing about cauliflower, say that 10 times fast, is that it has to bind. It has to somehow stick. So it's not that it's not probably a lower calorie option than like, you know, getting just flour dough, but they still have to bind it with, I think it's egg and oil, right? That has to kind of keep the cauliflower together to create a crust. It's definitely lower calorie though than a thick crust, obviously. So it's a great option. I do think that if you're going for, you know, a lower calorie option, getting a California, see, I was having trouble with that one, cauliflower crust is a good option. So, I'm seeing Domino's thin crust veggie pizza. Someone jumped in here. All right, Domino's. There you go. Domino's has a thin crust veggie pizza. So I'm gonna have to look that up. I like the fact that they're offering some more of those thin crust options because I've noticed that you can still get that pizza out of your system. You know, like you want some pizza, and it's not usually the whole dough. It's the thick dough that really makes you sick. You know, it's like increases just the bogged down feeling, and I think a lot of the times it's just that combination of the sauce and the cheese and the toppings. So getting a thin crust is a really great option. So those are some great tips. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Those are just some thoughts that ways that I order. These are definitely all 18 of those tips were things that I do, and I make sure to implement when I go out to eat. But like I said from the very beginning, that I think it's most important that we're aware, because there are going to be times where you want to go out and just enjoy a meal, not think about it, not calculate calories, not worry about, fit goals, and that's okay too. I don't want this to be all about like, we could never just go and enjoy, a pizza and a donut, but I think for the most part is that, that's really easy to do, right? And it's harder to walk into a restaurant thinking about how can I go into this and still, maintain my goals. And when we have that type of confidence, that's sustainability, right? That's sustainability when you're like, I can go into anywhere in this city, I can travel, I can go anywhere, and I can still stay with my goals. That's the most important thing is giving us confidence that you can go in there and order something and, not feel like you derailed yourself this whole time. Because most of the time it's staying on track, right? It's not that you, need anything else other than, okay, how can I keep going? How can I stay on track and going out to eat and family and date nights and, not feeling like cooking? Man, I mean, I've been there, right? We know that all of those things are a part of life. So as long as we have tips and are aware of, what we can order when we go out, and being aware that like fit goals are always there, it's really important. So, okay, one more question I got here. I've got a few of them. Sorry if I missed a few of these questions, but I just got, what do you get at a breakfast restaurant? Oh man. Well, breakfast number one is like my favorite meal. When I'm, wanting to splurge, like I love pancakes. Pancakes my thing. I guess I didn't go over that, did I? At breakfast one, I was focused on dinner. There's only so many minutes. But let me just go over this really quick. Breakfast options, number one, I think that, looking at what your day is like, I mean, I would order just mainly egg omelet, right? And knowing that they're going to already cook it in oil, I would always try to order an egg white. Because if you just get an egg omelet, they're already putting butter or oil or whatever in the pan to cook that and to cook the veggies that are going in that. So always do egg white. Try to do egg white because they're already adding butter and oil. And then that's if you're adding cheese, right? I mean, the calories just easily add up. So focusing on a protein, that's really where you're going to get your protein at a breakfast place, is through the eggs. It's a little more difficult to find a lot of options that are protein focused for breakfast. If you do fruit on the side or like dry oatmeal on the side, that's easy for carbohydrates. So that's a good one. But mainly if you can get them to make you an omelet, you can add extra veggies to it. And then once again, you're getting that volume. You're getting a large omelet that's going to take you a while to add. I'll add ham to it too because that's lean and you're increasing the protein. So just to make the omelet a little larger. Carbs on the side though, the breakfast is hard. I mean, really, you've probably just got those two options. I mean, you've got dry toast, you've got oatmeal, and you've got fruit, which, maybe you just want to save your carbs for later and just enjoy doing protein and fat for breakfast. Most of the time, that's what I would do, is I would just focus on kind of the protein fat option for breakfast and then save carbs for later in the day. So hopefully that helped you guys. Thanks for asking questions. Thanks for being a part of today's discussion. It was a lot of fun. And we're going to keep bringing you guys some more topics here, but we would love to hear what you want to hear from us as well. So if you have any other topics for us to discuss and bring to you, we love doing these. We're going to have some of the trainers here at TF hold some of these seminars as well. So thanks for joining me today, you guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.